M&As represent a contested control process where two contending prevailing institutional logics, shareholder-centered and labor-oriented, whose respective power is influenced by national laws, shape M&A outcomes. Crises like systemic financial crises are periods under which these logics may be altered. Our paper examines how financial crises affect the positive relationship between the legal protection of shareholder rights and M&A activity in a country, and the negative relationship between the legal protection of labor rights and M&A activity. Using a dataset from financial services companies across 35 countries from 1990 to 2016, we find that financial crises significantly weaken the effects of both shareholder and labor rights on M&A transactions. Our findings emphasize the role of power dynamics amidst conflicting institutional logics in determining key M&A outcomes during both crisis and non-crisis periods. Thus, we offer the first theoretical and empirical analysis of power dynamics in the context of conflicting institutional logics and how they shape important economic outcomes during crisis and non-crisis times. Our paper makes several contributions to the existing literature. First, it extends the analysis of conflicting institutional logics from the non-crisis to the crisis context, showing that effects can be both enhanced and attenuated. It is important to note that the classic approach in the institutional logics perspective examines the evolution of logics and their potential conflict during periods in which social and institutional relationships are stable. By contrast, we explicitly formulate and answer the critical question of what happens in the midst and wake of crisis. We show the moderating effect of a financial crisis on the relationship between regulatory institutions and workforce reconfiguration during crisis and non-crisis periods. Lastly, our study relates to the body of work on corporate restructuring and decline, exploring how firms adapt to the disruptive shifts in their environment. It responds to repeated calls for research that investigates firms' responses to extreme events such as financial crisis. Our findings suggest that firm-level responses to a crisis will be enabled or constrained by stakeholders' dynamics during crisis and non-crisis periods. By altering the environment in which stakeholder rights are exercised, financial crisis can enable or constrain a firm's response, thus affecting the deployment of corporate strategy.